Hope you are doing well today. Happy first day back from Labor Day weekend. Excuse me. And allergies are crazy today in Texas. While we're waiting on folks to join, as a reminder, Cooped Up is my website. You can visit that anytime. Follow me. I'm Cooped Up is my handle on all the social places. Would love a follow, particularly on Instagram if you were there. And wherever you watch or listen to this, be sure you click the bell, the subscribe button, whatever you want to call it, so that you never miss a second. So hope everyone is doing well. Hey, Mama. Hope you are doing great today. Hope you had a good weekend. Mom texted me yesterday saying, hey, I'm not going to be able to watch you live today. I'm going to miss your show. Actually, I'm going to miss your show today. And I texted back, me too. Because it was Monday, Labor Day, not Memorial Day, Labor Day. So first of all, I have seen, so in my neighborhood for major holidays, specifically patriotic holidays, people put up, there's this one group that puts up just a shit ton of flags, American flags, along Sylvan Avenue, which is kind of the main parkway that comes into our part of town. And then on a lot of the islands and stuff like that. It's beautiful and I love it. But I was wondering, I almost got out my bunting. I have the patriotic bunting that I put up for like Memorial Day, 4th of July. But I was like, is Labor Day really a patriotic holiday? Is it like an American flag holiday? And then I saw, and I wasn't criticizing it. I just was like, do I do it or not? And I'm actually glad I didn't do it because of the storms that came through, but that's a whole sidebar. I'll get to that in a minute. But I did see some people on social being like, I don't think people got the memo, or I don't think people understood the assignment, talking about the flags everywhere. So there are some people who do not believe that putting up an American flag for Labor Day weekend is appropriate. Where do y'all land on that? I'm curious what your thoughts are. So I started off the weekend because I actually took Friday off. My company, I give my company the Friday before a Monday holiday off, because we all know shit don't happen on a Friday before a 3-day weekend. And so we had Friday and Monday off. And my to-do list, I am one of these people, and I suspect some of y'all are too, who is extremely ambitious for Labor Day weekend, these long weekends. My to-do list looks like a CVS receipt, if we're being honest. And it just started pouring rain. I did not know we were going to get any rain today. Just pouring ass rain outside right now. Get back to that in a minute too. But so I always have a very long list of things to do, overly ambitious. I always feel like, I didn't get to enough of my stuff. And I always end up adding stuff as the weekend progresses. So there were things like clean out my closet. Did not happen. I cleaned out Mason's closet, but my closet did not get cleaned out. Reset this room, because we have a baby shower coming up in about 6 weeks, and we only have like 2 weekends left that don't have major things happening. So anyway, back to the patriotic thing. My thoughts are whatever they want to do is fine. That is generally I subscribe to that as well. I also subscribe to, just because it is Labor Day is over, that you can't wear white anymore. I say bullshit to that, because as long as it is summer, as long as it feels like summer, you can dress like it's summer. I'm like, nope. If shorts are appropriate, so are white pants and white shoes in my book. In fact, I am wearing white tennis shoes today, which aren't the same as dress shoes, but still. And my mother says she always has an American flag hanging outside, as do we. Our house always has an American flag out front. By the way, if you're wondering what I'm drinking, I am sober at the moment. Not trying to convince y'all. Well, at the moment, I did have some this weekend, but I don't drink during the week or on a night where I have work the next day. That is my new thing. I've lost like 5 pounds, which is that change, and like walking like 2 miles a day, but, and I don't know if you can tell. I can't tell yet, but the scale says I have. So I drink in the evenings. I started drinking club soda with a splash of cranberry. This might be more than a splash, and a squeeze of lime. That is my go-to. It's like a virgin Cape Cod, if you will. So that is what I am drinking at the moment. But anyway, so the to-do list. So I got through like 4 of the items. One of the items, though, was I had to take my children to Grapevine Mills Mall. So they wanted to go shopping. It was their first like solo shopping trip where I was not there to buy the stuff. I went out with them. I stayed at the mall, but they wanted nothing to do with me there. I just loaded. If you were wondering last week how I was going to handle this, I just loaded their Greenlight debit cards with $150 each and sent them with their friend. We ate lunch together, and then I said, okay, I'm getting out of your hair. Meet back at entrance 1 at 4 o'clock. And this was at like 1:30 when all of this went down. Meet at entrance 1 at 4 o'clock, and then we will make sure you keep all of your receipts, because I do still get veto rights on anything you buy that I think is inappropriate or I don't want to pay for. That would come out of your money. And they did. They did a great job. But Grapevine Mills. So if you're not in Dallas, Grapevine Mills is this huge mall. When it was built, it was like it's like an outlet mall, sort of, all indoors, but it has lots of other stuff. It has Legoland there. It has a big aquarium, ocean life aquarium, sea life aquarium, something like that. Huge movie theater. It's got like a Neiman's Last Call. It's got all of the big outlets, Burlington Coat Factory, all that kind of stuff, right? And when it opened, it was a big deal. It was, I think, one of the first outlets, and it's part of the Mills. Like there's Opry Mills in Nashville. There's Katy Mills in the Houston area. Here's Grapevine Mills because it's in Grapevine, Texas. Others, and Claire and Mason's friend Isabella specifically wanted to go to that mall. And it's a big circle, so you just have to walk one direction and you don't get lost and you see everything, right? But what a bizarre mall that was. First of all, if our economy is headed into a recession, no one there got the memo. It was so fucking crowded. People everywhere, climbing the rafters. Just every table in the food court was taken. Long ass lines to get food. Every store had lines to check out. It was like maybe not quite as bad as Black Friday, but definitely Christmas season. Busy. It was crazy. Secondly, the mall itself is, and maybe this is how all malls are now. I texted Monica about it, my sister, and asked her, and she said that their mall near them is like this. But it has gone from being like all of these national chains and big stores and all of this to, it still has like the signature stores. Like the Ralph Lauren store there has obviously been recently renovated, and it is gorgeous. It was probably the most beautiful of the Ralph Lauren outlets I've ever been to. Big, bright white, big screens. The Coach store was gorgeous. The Neiman's was nice. Banana Republic looked like it had been raided and like they ran out of merchandise. It was kind of weird. Same with the Gap. But then, so they've got all those stores, and they've got like the Forever 21 outlet, which I did not go into, but the kids did and bought some stuff there. They have H&M. They have the Buckle. What's the other one? Like Aeropostale. All like these big names, right? But then they have like these weird sections of it where they have like an indoor glow-in-the-dark miniature golf course, but it's not nice. It wasn't like well done. It looked like somebody in the neighborhood just said, you know what, let's build a mini golf course. And it was just straight lines. It was like nothing to it. And, and I'm a big fan of miniature golf. And even I was like, no. And Aaron is saying, if you need a sword or a cell phone cover, they have them. Yes. Such a weird assortment. And then like if you need crystals or you need something for the occult, they had stores for that. Or if you needed, there was like a vitamin B12 store, like where everything in it was vitamin B12 fortified. Just really random stuff like that. A lot of the center, it was basically, this is what it was. It was basically, all those stores that are normally in the center of the mall that are selling like the silver cleaner or the head massager or the whatever. It's like they graduated and weren't in the center of the mall anymore. They were in actual storefronts. It was the weirdest thing. Or just like a store called like Molly's Tacos, and it was Molly making some tacos in the back. They had like a bowl restaurant. What do you call it? Oh, the grain that people use instead of rice and a lot of things, and they make bowls with it. They had a whole little restaurant that did only that. It was just like, I'm like, what is this place? What is the rent there? How do those off stores make any profit? My guess is that the rent is very cheap and that the mall takes a cut of their profits. That is how, like at normal malls, the big stores like Macy's, Nordstrom, Neiman Marcus, Dillard's, those types, they pay almost no rent in real malls. And in exchange, they're anchors, and so they bring in a lot of people, but they also pay a percentage of their retail sales. A lot of shopping centers do that too. They will charge you rent, and it may or may not be expensive, and then they'll charge a portion of sales, and you have to report it in. I've done PR for retail centers that they've had to do that, and we've had to do some PR around it because sometimes there are people who lie and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, the mall was crowded, and I also think that indoor malls, while they were fun for the kids, they are very on the way out. I think they only survive in Texas because it is 6 bazillion degrees here. Even when they say, like earlier today, or no, yeah, this morning I was walking. My watch said it was 78 degrees outside. I'm like, bullshit to that. It is not 78 degrees. It felt hotter than that. And then the other thing that kind of hijacked the weekend was these storms. We had, and it's around the time. It was at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock when it happened on Saturday and on Sunday. So on the way back from Grapevine Mills, we could see them coming. And then we got home just in time for it to just blow in. And they just blew up out of nowhere. And I think it's because of the heat right now. And then Sundays were crazy. We had trees fall over. Like we've lost on our street like 4 trees that just fall over. They're just super big trees and they just fall over. One of them has hit a fence. I saw one on a house. Most of them have just laid across the road. And then I've seen a lot of really big. We had a minivan down the street that had its back window shattered out by a big branch coming down. Over in East Dallas, though, I had to go to Claire has volunteered to be the fish mama at school, the aquarium mama. And so we had to, I thought we were going to Petco. She specifically wanted to go to Petco. And I drove out to East Dallas, Lakewood, thinking that was a Petco. It's a PetSmart. Took forever to get there and forever to get back because every traffic light was out. And here's something about people in Texas. I don't know, or Dallas specifically. I don't know if it applies everywhere. People do not know how to use a 4-way stop. Drives me insane. Even I went to the grocery store earlier today and there was a light flashing. There were 2 things. One, if the light is out, it is immediately a 4-way stop. People don't realize that. So you got to take your life in your own hands with that. Secondly, just because you have stopped doesn't mean it is your turn to go. That is the big thing. At a 4-way stop, especially if there's like a left turn lane and all that stuff, I always come to the thing and I make note. I'm like, they were already there. They were already there. They're still in motion. Okay, so I'm after them, but before them, that sort of thing, right? People just stop and go. And I'm like, we almost saw an accident right in front of us on the way to the grocery store today. Microbursts, yes. And they were terrifying. We looked across the street. Monica, you would have just lost your brain. We looked across the street there's a park across the street from our house. Claire and I opened the door and it looked like a scene from Jurassic Park where the dinosaur is coming through the woods and you see the woods starting to split, but you don't see the dinosaur yet. That's what it looked like because the wind was coming straight down. So I'll see your 4-way stop and raise you a roundabout. Well, we're getting roundabouts in our neighborhood. They just opened 2 in the last 3 months. So turns out, hey, here's the thing. Once people figure out how to use a roundabout, it's fine. It has actually been a tremendous improvement. People still bitch about it, but the bitching has largely stopped. People were predicting catastrophe, calamity, the end of our neighborhood with the big one that opened, and it's been fine. Give me that over the other any day of the week. The 4-way stops, hate them. And then today, has anyone thought half through the day that tomorrow is Tuesday? Like halfway through the day, I'm like, someone was like, I'm not going to be able to get that to you in time for our meeting or whatever. And I'm like, our meeting's on Wednesday. And they're like, yeah, we have half a day before that. It's like, oh shit, tomorrow's Wednesday. Which is good for me because I try to barely work on Fridays. Friday is my catch-up days. I have a C letter for every day. So Mondays are my CEO day when I try to do like boss man shit, like financial planning, invoicing, stuff like that. Tuesdays are my client day where I try to focus on just like strategic stuff for clients, catching up with clients, just making sure I just real high touch on or hard touch rather on clients that day. Wednesdays is content. That's the day that I try to focus on creating new content, either for this, which I never get to this, or for like my 2 other companies that I have, all that kind of stuff. 2 other companies, like Gooped Up is a real company, and then Thursday is kind of catch up day, but Friday is definitely catch up day. So catch up, not ketchup, catch up. I gripe because Monica thinks a roundabout requires you to go at least. Hey, look, kids, Big Ben. That's fun. I do that sometimes with our kids, just to, because it's if you got a teenager who's already pissed off at you, there's nothing better than just giving them a reason. Dad, you're so embarrassing, Dad. So, and I mentioned earlier that the people at Grapevine Mills did not act like there's anything wrong with the economy. It is so weird knowing, because like I've got proposals, people wanting to hire me. I've got all this stuff. But then I had like the weirdest situation last week. I had a new business call on Tuesday, I think it was, maybe Wednesday. It went great. I was developing a proposal for them, all of that kind of stuff. I get a call Friday at like 4:00 from the woman. She says, "Hey, no need to get me that proposal. I just got laid off." So she went with her boss's approval and everything or the leadership's approval from interviewing PR firms. And maybe they knew and they said, we can't stop her, but certainly they wouldn't do that to, hey, we're canning your marketing department. So I just think it's weird. We don't know what's up. I should have led with this today. Today is the day that the kids in Uvalde went back to school. I'm guessing they waited. It's unusual for a Texas school to go back to school this late. I'm guessing that they waited so that they had a longer summer, that they had time to work things out, because they shut that Robb Elementary School. It's shut down. They're not going to use it ever again. I think they're going to demolish it. I saw today that they said no one will ever go to school there ever again, which leads me to believe it'll be demolished. And I think that Monica went to elementary school there. I was born in Uvalde. My parents met in Uvalde. They married in Uvalde. Not in that order. I was born then after that. I lived there like twice in my life. I went to, what did I do? I went to like 5th and 6th grade there, I think. Yeah. And we moved back. And then, so it's kind of one of my hometowns. But it's interesting. It's got to be a really hard choice for people to send their kids back to school today. The realist in me says the chances of that ever happening again are almost impossible. That is not going to happen, especially to the people of Uvalde again. Knock on wood, but the likelihood of that ever happening again is unlikely. So the emotional part of me is like, I can see it, but the rational part of me is like, yeah, but they're probably safer than they've ever been at the moment. So that's a hard thing. I saw that the private school in Uvalde, the Sacred Heart, I think it's probably one of the only private schools there, doubled in size. Their enrollment doubled in size over the summer, which tells you a lot. But anyway, and back to school, I don't know how many of y'all know people whose kids went back to school today, not Uvalde kids, but just generally. So a lot of my friends in the Northeast in particular, and then also in California, I've been seeing some back to school posts today for them. And, it's so weird. My friend Amy mentioned this over the weekend, that we're seeing all these back to school ads here in Texas. Our kids have been we're in week 4 at this point, I think, for my kids. Maybe, I think week 4. I think we are in week 4. And then we have 2 more weeks, and then we have a break, a week off, and then we have, or not counting this week, the next 2 weeks, and then we're off. And then we're in, and then next thing you know, and Kelly is saying they've noticed a lot of new safety measures this year at their daughter's school. I'll tell you, as someone who is spearheading the construction of a new campus for my kids' school, the calculus changed a lot. Even for a small private school, like the things that we had not budgeted for necessarily, that some are important, some are theater, but people still want to see them. All of that, we're having to like work that into it because people are concerned. So, yep, on week 4, Eric is saying, Eric's already counting. Week 4, yes, week 4. Anyway, what else do I have on my list? Oh, one of the things I did this weekend, so I got new tennis shoes and I didn't know what color to get. And so this is what I do when I order tennis shoes from like Zappos or Amazon or so. I ordered them from Zappos in this case. I will find a style that I like, and then I will order like 5 pairs of them in a bunch of different colors, so that when they come and I see them, I decide, 1, if I even like them at all, and 2, which ones I like better. The downside of that is I almost never just keep one. In this case, I did. I ordered 3, but I almost kept 2 of the 3 because I like 2 of the colors a lot. But like I need fitness gear all that much. I am walking like 2.5 to 3 miles a day though. So I needed new tennis shoes because my old ones were not up to the job. And I have a huge order of Fabletics shorts on the way because I'm running out of shorts to work out in. So who is this person? Drinking non-alcoholic mocktails and ordering Fabletics. Can y'all hear the rain? It is still pouring here, like loud. But so I went to return the shoes that I did not want. So of the 3, I kept the light blue ones. They're so pretty. I'll have to show them to you someday. I don't have them on right now. And then I returned the like cobalt ones and there was this kind of like bluish purple ones that I thought were going to be neat. They ended up just looking like dusty rose, like just not a good color. They look dirty already. And so I sent them back. But here's the amazing thing to me about returns from Amazon or Zappos, who is owned by Amazon. Most people don't know that, but Zappos is owned by Amazon. I took them to UPS, not even to the UPS store. I did the thing where you print a label, put it back in the box, and you just take them to a UPS drop point. Like in our neighborhood, it's Oak Cliff Print is the local one. We have a UPS store, but it's on the other side of the river. It takes a little bit farther to get to. It's not kind of in my daily route. So I sometimes choose to go to that one. So I went to Oak Cliff Print, give it to them before I am even home. And literally that was the only errand I ran. Before I'm even home, I get a notification that I have already received a refund because I guess UPS showed up right after me and scanned it. And the minute they scan it, Zappos processes the refund. They don't even have to wait for the merchandise anymore. How weird is that? I mean, I think I've probably talked about this before, and it's not a new thing. It's just weird to me that, especially considering how much we return, and maybe that's part of it. Maybe we have such a good record of returning stuff that's not been used, that's not been questionable, and they always have the option to get the money back, I guess. But anyway, I was impressed. Loves that. And Zappos also blows my mind because I bet I could order some shoes right now, and they would be here like at around the time I wake up tomorrow. Depending on the shoe, but yeah. What else? Oh, there was something I wanted y'all's opinion on. So Monica brought this to my attention, and then also, so actually it was 2 people the same day. Someone on my team mentioned fingernail dips, and then Monica mentioned it to me like 2 hours later. Totally unrelated conversations, neither prompted by anything. But this thing where it's dips. And so basically, and don't look at my nails, I need to cut them. But basically you paint this like clear glue, I guess, or activate, I don't know what it is, on your nails. It's like a base coat. And then you just dip them in like this powder, and then you pull it out, and then you put like a top coat on it, and it's just as if you have gotten a manicure. And Monica sent it to me, and I was like, well, that's interesting. And I was thinking about getting some for Claire. For Claire. We'll see. But I was looking at it, and the reviews are great. It's not as simple as I have made it. It's a simple like 63-step process. Not really. It's like 6 steps. I think you have to do your nails. You have to paint the clear stuff on them, dip them, let it sit. Sometimes you have to do it twice. Then you put the top coat, and then if you want some sort of something else on it, you do that. But it comes in tons of colors. It's great. And people are using them instead of acrylic nails, which I think is tremendous because acrylic nails are so bad for your nails. Although these things, I don't know how they come off. I think you peel them off, right? So I was curious if any of y'all have experience with these before I can start dipping my kids' nails in them, because they supposedly last a long time. They're very rugged. And my issue with when I paint the kids' nails, like if I paint Claire's nails or Mason's, or mine even, within 2 days, like the ends are all chipped up. It might as well be a French manicure, a white trash French manicure. One of those trashy French people. Those people who live in like the bad part of France manicure, not the fancy French manicure. So it's supposed to be that. But I'm curious, do they look like nail polish, or do they look like press-on nails, or do they look like acrylics? Like, do they look like they are? Do they look like they are on like part of the nail, like paint, or do they look like they're sitting on top of the nail? Kelly is chiming in that she has gotten them in the salon. I'm curious to hear about the DIY setup. Let me see if I can find it. It's in I think I have it in my Amazon cart. And I just happen to have Amazon pulled up, because who doesn't always have Amazon pulled up? Okay, so here I'm going to drop this link in so you can look at it. Copy link. Okay. I'm dropping this link in so that you can see what I'm talking about. So this particular set has 12 colors. This one is the winter colors set. And the only thing it does not come with, it comes with like a brush and some other tools and the different colors of dip powder. But then you also, some of them have built-in included stuff, but then others like this one, you have to buy the solutions separately. And I'm putting the solutions also in the chat for y'all to see, in case y'all are interested in that. And the solution is like $14 and the kit is like $24. So all in, you're like $38 in, right? Plus tax. But my curiosity, Kelly, so tell me, when you get yours done, do they look like something that has been stuck on your nail, or do your nails look painted? I'm also curious, not for any reason that I'm going to do this, but I'm curious how they do the French tip part of it. Like, do you just paint part of it, or do you just keep doing it until it builds up? Because they're not even like you can continue to do it and build them up. But what if you just do one coat? That's what I'm curious about. Monica says she's seen people with them. It looks like acrylic. Yeah. So like if I were to paint, because I do like to paint my nails sometimes, I don't want it to look like acrylic though. Like I don't want it to look like a nail on top of my nail. I just want it to look like my nail that's been painted. So I like the finished look. Yes, they do look painted. Okay, good to know. Alrighty. So maybe I try it. And we do a live together to see how quickly and easily it is. $38. That's probably not a terrible investment if we can use them down the road for something. Just got to get the colors I like. I'd probably do a matte finish. I like mine with a matte finish on them instead of the high shine. But it looks like there's a 4-step base coat, an activator, a top coat. Oh, so you do the base coat, then you put it on, then you do the activator, which I think hardens it, and then you do the top coat to finish it. And that's when I would use the probably the matte top coat. And then the fourth thing is a brush cleaner. So you dip the brush in it to clean it off. I guess that's probably for the activator, which has to touch the powder, I'm guessing. So anyway, well, that was a science lesson that I didn't mean to teach today. And then the last thing I have on my list, if you were in the Dallas area, there is a thing called Dallas Reads, and it is produced by D Magazine. DallasReads.org is their website. But it's where every year, there's like a month that we do this kind of citywide book club, and D Magazine picks a book that it thinks is important for everyone who's a Dallasite or from the Dallas area to read. And the book this time is The Accommodation, and they were giving the books away for free. I went and got this one for free today, and it's mine. It's not a checked out book from the library. I went to the Oak Cliff Public Library, but all of the Dallas public libraries have them, and they just hand them to you. You just say, hey, can I get a copy of the Dallas Reads book? And they have them, and they just hand them to you while supplies last. And this one is about about the suppressed history of race and racism in Dallas from slavery through the civil rights movement and the city's desegregation efforts. in the 50s and 60s. And supposedly people call this the most dangerous book in Dallas because it shines a lot of light on things that Dallasites don't want to hear, but it is important to hear. Some people would call that critical race theory or talk of systemic racism. Others just call it history or the truth or opening your eyes to what has happened. I don't think you come out of these books unless you feel guilty for some reason. You shouldn't come out of these books feeling guilty, so to speak. You should come out feeling awoken. Woke, as they say, which I don't consider an insult to be called woke. To me, being called woke means your eyes have been opened, you have been awakened to that other people have an experience that is not the same as yours, and how your experience may play into theirs some, and how you can be more cognizant of that. So that's what the book this time. So and they don't check IDs, they didn't check my driver's license, they didn't check if I had a library card or anything. So if you are not in the city of Dallas and you still want to read it, there is a list of places that you can get it at that bigdreads.org or just any Dallas Public Library. You just walk in and grab it. They just hand it to you. So my only complaint so far is the type is so small, so I will be using my readers big time with this. And I don't think they have a Kindle version, or not for free at least. You have to buy it. So, all righty. Anyone have any questions, anything like that? Let me look through. Oh, I got a $100. Oh, that's an idea. I got a $100 gift card as a thank you for something. And I have a very strict policy that gift cards, found money you didn't realize you had, all of that stuff cannot be used on anything practical. They have to be used on like a gift for yourself, something that you've been thinking about purchasing for yourself, but you felt guilty about it, that sort of thing. So, I got $100, not 50. Did I say 50? I got two $50, $100. So maybe one of those, maybe I'll buy some of this nail dip to try it out. And then I got a couple of other things I want. I need these 20. There's a, there's a bracelet I want. You're going to laugh at this. I bought the medium-sized one, but now I want the big one. It is a tennis bracelet. It's cubic zirconia. So the big one is $68, and it is so pretty. And, tennis bracelets on men and women, or women and men, rather I should say, are all the rage right now. So that's something. I dropped a link to that in the comments, too, if y'all want to check that one out. But so pretty. Maybe I'll buy that for myself. I'm definitely going to spend more than $100 on this trip, though. This Amazon haul. All righty. Well, don't forget, my website is coopedup.com. You can check that out anytime. I'm Cooped Up is my handle in all the social places. We'll have a follow, particularly if you're on Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe wherever you watch or listen to this. This is audio on all of the major podcasting platforms as well. And with that, I'm going to say bye. I love you. It's important to know you are loved. I love that you watch this. Thank you so much. This is like my therapy, and I've missed you, not seeing you. And has it been 5 days now? I think something like that. So until next time, I'll see you tomorrow at 4:30 for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say? Talk to you later. Bye.